With the fixture list United have for the rest of October, the Devil's Verdict analyses why the Ole sacked headline could become a reality by the end of the month, and why it should have happened already. I have conducted an eye test on the most important facets of management, marking them out of 10. Leadership. The most infuriating image since Project Restart is Solskjaer sat in the stand, legs crossed, limp wrist, face in his hand, with that stupid screen next to him. This isn't the image of a leader, he is Manchester United manager. He shouldn't even be alongside his staff, let alone behind them. It screams of someone who is not a leader, and psychologists may say that he is hiding from the situation by sitting in the background. Every other manager, for the whole game, is in the technical area, driving their team on, shouting instructions, calling players out, encouraging them, and putting the officials under pressure. His choice of assistants hasn't helped the situation either. Whenever the camera is on the United bench, Mike Phelan is slouched in a chair with his arms crossed or behind his head like Jim Royle, and Kieran McKenna watches the games propped up like a meerkat in disbelief that he's gone from coaching under-18s to United's first team. Overall, there is a lack of leadership on the United bench, whether it's from Ole or his coaching team. 2 out of 10. Youth development. In bringing on Tiden Mengi against Lask last season, Solskjaer equals Samat's 67-year-old record of academy debutants in a single season. But what did that actually mean? For me, it meant Ole is prepared to chuck a young player into a dead rubber match, but has failed to fully integrate enough of the premier talents United have. Greenwood is the type of talent that comes through once or twice every generation. Even then, up until Project Restart, Greenwood was only given scraps despite the impact he was making. Brandon Williams was used out of necessity because of the poor early form and lack of fitness of Luke Shaw, and probably wasn't even in United's top 5 prospects at the point he was brought in. Ole has missed the opportunity to integrate players like Tuanzebe, Gomez, Chong and Levitt to bolster the United squad. The lack of pace in United's centre-back partnership is clear for all to see, and Tuanzebe should have been given more game time to improve this weakness, having gained experience out on loan with Villa for the 18-19 season. To rectify United's lack of creativity before the signing of Fernandes, Ole should have turned to Gomez, one of the best talents to come out of United's academy since the class of '92, and Levitt, the best passer to come out of the academy since Paul Scholes. Now we have lost Gomez due to a lack of game time. And if you think any of the said players are not good enough, look at who Ole has been giving game time to. At least they couldn't be any worse than this. Compare this to Lampard at Chelsea, who blooded 5 young players into the first team squad last season. Despite all the players that Chelsea signed, how many more players would they have needed to sign if Frank didn't blood those young players? It seems Ole doesn't have the imagination to visualise what young players could become, or he hasn't got the balls to play them. 4 out of 10. Tactics. When Ole first took over, he basically parked the bus, getting men behind the ball and looked to counter-attack with United's speedsters. But from Project Restart, he completely changed United's approach to a more expansive game. This has caused 2 huge issues. The first issue is how the change of tactics have exposed James and Wan-Bissaka's weaknesses. James was bought for his straight line speed on the counter-attack, and Wan-Bissaka was bought because he is a great defender, and they both fitted into Ole's defensive tactics well. Even when United were struggling, they were 2 of the shining lights in the United team. By Ole changing tactics, Wan-Bissaka's inability to attack and James's inability to impact the game without grass to run into has been exposed. Essentially, by changing the team style of play, Ole has taken 2 of his signings bought specifically for his defensive style out of the equation. James is never in the team, and Wan-Bissaka is really struggling to produce going forward. The second issue is, with United being more expansive, this has created greater spaces between United's lines. United haven't got a midfield with the mobility and work rate to close these gaps quickly and efficiently enough when they haven't got the ball, and as a result, United are easy to play through. United's midfield are doing nothing to protect the back four. Pogba is happy to get forward with Fernandes, but isn't prepared to dig in and get back, and Matic can't get about the pitch like he used to. Tactically, I rate Ole 4 out of 10. Squad management. One of the recurring themes of Solskjaer's management has been his failure to rotate his squad to keep his squad players sharp and keep the regulars fresh. As a result, Solskjaer broke a 27-year-old club record by naming the same starting lineup for 5 consecutive Premier League games. The last time that was done was back in 1993 by Sir Alex, in a time when there were only 3 subs, 1 goalkeeper and 2 outfield players. In the press conference before the Southampton home game that broke the record, Solskjaer stated, "And of course, there's a squad. We've got players here who are champing at the bit to play. But you have players in a rhythm who keep on playing well. So there's less work on the training ground, obviously." Less work on the training ground. Unbelievable comment. If it is the form of the players that was carrying the team, to the point less time is spent on the training ground, what is Ole and his coaching team getting paid to do? For me, his squad management has been appalling. The team were dead on their feet for the last few games of last season, and United fell over the line. His lack of rotation could have cost United Champions League football. 2 out of 10. Squad discipline. Ole has indulged the big egos and poor performers from the day he took over. They do what they want, when they want, and it is reflected on the pitch with the lack of consistency. The players are said to have backed Ole recently, and my response to that is, why wouldn't they? They are not held to the same standards that Jose demanded. They are not put under the same mental and physical pressure that Jose put the team under, so of course, they back Ole because it's an easy life. In the case of Pogba, Martial and Shaw, they couldn't handle Jose's standards, which is why they were always on the bench and on their way out before Jose was sacked. The lack of discipline and holding players accountable has been a fundamental reason for how bad United have been under Ole. Squad discipline, 2 out of 10. The Devils' verdict on Ole is a clueless yes man. His submissive personality is what has kept him his job this long because it appeals to Woodward. Ole doesn't push back, unlike Moyes, Van Gaal and Mourinho. He has become the face of the Ed Woodward propaganda campaign, telling us that the future is rosy, but it never comes. It's always dangerous territory when an ex-playing legend becomes manager of that club. Fans give them a level of credence that has not been earned through their managerial skills, but based on their playing skills. Ole's credibility is based on flicking out a foot from 4 yards in a Champions League final. This does not equal this, or even this or this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on how you think Ole has done as United manager. As always, please like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you in the next video.